Hello and welcome to our beloved parishioners. I'm Bailee.
I'm Ashley.
And this is Praise Be to Pod. Thank you so much for joining us. Ashley, do you have someone you would like to introduce to the parishioners?
A very special guest with us today. My husband, Danny Krug.
Ooh la la. The first boy.
That's me, yeah.
Possibly the last one, too.
Yeah, we don't
We'll
like
see.
to platform men, but we did give an allowance to him because
Yep.
he's a cool one.
If this goes well, we might have another one, but if it doesn't,
Great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today. We start out with a segment called What's on Your Heart? And Bailee, what's on your heart today?
Okay, so I've got some pretty big news, and I feel like I have officially been initiated into adulthood because I got a Costco membership, which I'm really excited about. And I went to Costco. So it wasn't my first time in Costco, but it was my first time with my own membership. And I went in, and it was pretty fucking crazy. And they spent a lot of money, which really surprised me. But a lot of things were in bulk, so I'm hoping that I don't have to return to the grocery store for a while. But it was pretty crazy. And then when I got up to pay for all my things, the lady that was at the counter was like, "Is this your first time?"
Oh my God.
And I was just like, "Yes, this is so obvious." And then she was like, "No, you just have the new membership manual under your arm." And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, because I feel just like so starry-eyed right now. Like I could totally see giving off first time vibes. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's what's on my heart. It was pretty awesome. So if you have any, really quick, one of the reasons why I got a Costco membership is because I wanted to figure out a way to kind of streamline my grocery and meal prep situation so I could save some money. So if you have any Costco tips and hacks of things that you can get in bulk that are a really good bang for your dollar, please let me know. I am all ears.
Can we have some Costco staples?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kewpie mayo. That's one.
Oh, I love QB mayo. Perfect.
Yeah. It's the American one, not the Japanese one, but it's
Oh.
the same formula. I could go into it for a long time.
Well, you're on a podcast, so
yeah.
you technically could.
Yeah. The Japanese one has more MSG and it tastes better, and it's easier to get out of the bottle.
MSGs.
But the American one apparently has MSG now
Okay.
too. So yeah,
All right.
get a giant bottle for like $6.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go there
Molten
right
salt,
after this.
much
Yeah.
cheaper there.
Okay.
Well, if you're into finishing salt, yeah.
Okay. I have heard a lot of really great things about the rotisserie chicken too.
Yeah, I think I overdid it on the rotisserie chickens.
Okay.
I can't eat them for a while. I need a break.
It's been- okay.
But they're very good.
Oh, Kirkland energy drinks.
Oh, I have been drinking the
Yeah.
Kirkland
Yeah, yeah.
energy
That's
drinks.
number
Yeah,
one.
the like
Number one
Celsius
reason.
tube. Yeah,
Those
And
are
they were-
great.
It was crazy how much you can get for was it 24 for like $16?
Yeah.
That
Dirt,
is
Yeah.
insane.
It's really cheap.
dirt cheap.
Yes, and
No blue flavor.
And they
though.
don't have the weird aftertaste that Celsius has.
I would say that I didn't really notice a change. I almost felt a little bit more like messy afterwards. Like I don't know if there was more or if it was just a different type of caffeine or
Messy?
something. Yeah, like I was
Yeah.
tweaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob.
But Celsius has that. Yeah.
Addiction is not a joke. Continue. Ashley, what is on your heart?
What's on my heart is this weekend we were in Vegas to see No Doubt at the Sphere, which was great. But the best thing about the weekend was probably that Danny found this line of clothing called Original Sin.
Oh, I've heard of their work.
That is this shirt,
That is a great shirt.
which is a bedazzled Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
And I brought you a shirt too.
You did not. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Can I open it right now?
Yes, you
Okay.
have to on camera.
I can already tell this is going to be so good.
It's so good.
Shut the fuck
Did you see the
up.
back?
Holy shit. Wait. I got it for the viewers. The front says Jesus, and it has a Sacred Heart on it, which I have a Sacred Heart tattoo. I love Sacred Hearts. And then the back is like the most gothic looking Passion of the Christ hottie. I'm going to wear the hell out of this. I would put it on right now, but I don't want to scare anyone or get our video flagged on YouTube.
So we went to like
Thank you so much. This is a
You're
great
welcome.
shirt.
It's so you. I couldn't stop myself. I was losing my mind.
Yes, it's also very Shia LaBeouf, which is kind
Yes.
of ironic.
It was at like a streetwear store. What's it called?
Shoe Palace.
Shoe Palace. So they sell, streetwear, but then there's all this Christian
A ton of
merch.
Christian shit.
And Danny asked the sales guy, he's like, is this a joke? Because it was out of control. Like there's one that says saint and the back says sinner. and it's bedazzled.
That's so cool.
It's so good. Like, I was really restraining myself. I was like looking at the website during the concert. Like, should I go back? Should I get more? I really need this for my podcast. And I was like trying to tell the guy about it. Like, oh, I have a podcast about religion. And he was like, okay.
Okay.
It's like kind of offended.
Oh, no.
So,
Well, it was a great
special.
shirt. That was a really good gift for me. Thank you
it was a
so
special
much.
time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Danny, what's on your heart?
Yeah. Good news, bad news situation, right?
Okay.
Tender Loving Chicks is closed. Bad news, I was in Vegas when it happened, so I didn't get to see the lights go out for the last time.
What is this place?
You got to back up. You got to tell the parishioners.
Yeah, so Tender Loving Chicks is a chicken strip restaurant. I had such high hopes for it. Like, it was a food truck. I had the food. I was like, this is pretty good stuff. And then the pizza spot that was in that place closed down, pretty mid pizza spot, so I wasn't mad about it. And then they were like, Tender Loving Chicks is going there. I was like, great. I like their food. Amazing. They took almost a year to open, which is ridiculous because it was already a full working restaurant. And then when they opened, we went like opening night. So disappointing. Like, the vibes sucked.
It was like
The
very
prices-
corporate feeling.
The prices
yeah,
somehow
no.
from a food truck to a brick and mortar restaurant went up, which feels like the opposite direction that they should go.
Yeah.
And we just didn't really go back after that. And the guy who runs it is so annoying. He also runs the new dispensary in our neighborhood. Fuck that guy. If you're watching, eat a dick.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he is not watching. That does
he
not sound like our
you know
target
what?
audience.
There's like this like hustler, Twin Cities hustler culture, right? Where they all think that they're all the coolest people of all time, and they're all super Christian. So he might come across this.
Shit. We
Fuck
need to get
you,
less
get out of my
productive so we
neighborhood.
don't-
That's my message to him. Anyways, they closed. They still have the sign out front that says now open though, which I think is great. And I thought to myself, you know, that kid on Instagram who turns the lights off. Do you guys know him?
No.
It's like this. He's like this little kid on Instagram, and his
Yeah.
whole shtick is that he goes to a business and like waits for the lights to turn off, and then he stands in front of the business, and then he goes, "The lights are off," and then that's the whole video. And I thought to myself, like, I wish he could have been there on the last day too, to do that, but he wasn't, and I wasn't. But they're gone. Put literally anything in there. I don't care, just as long as it's not that.
Or another dispensary.
Yeah, or that.
Wait, you were supposed to talk about the concert, so it would bring us into our intro. Remember?
Oh,
But you can
do it
add
again,
that
yeah.
too.
yeah. Well, are we talking about how Gwen Stefani's a Christian nationalist?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So start over.
Okay. What's on my mind is that Gwen Stefani, Christian nationalist. No, I mean, so we went to see No Doubt on Saturday. I'd never seen them before. They're like on a short list of bands that I've never seen that I really want to see. They were also the first CD I ever bought, Tragic Kingdom. So, you know, a big chunk of my music history is there. Everybody in the band is so cool except Gwen, which like the band
Pretty
was
true.
built on her coolness, but everyone else has continued to get cooler. And one guy got Parkinson's, but she got uncool. And it's Blake Shelton's fault. Is it his fault?
I think that
I
she
don't know.
was she's always kind of had
Orange
a
County.
problem. She was the one who did that like terrible cultural appropriation where she was bringing the Harajuku girls around,
Yeah,
right?
Oh,
yeah.
and she had the red dot on her head for a long time.
Yeah,
too.
she was.
Yeah, the gemstone. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's, like, a problem.
and she's from like Orange County, so she
Yeah.
like there's just no way she's.
I
not.
mean, she
Aren't
is in
the
an
rest
Orange
of them
County
good?
ska band, and like half of the Orange County ska bands are Christian in some way, shape, or form.
yeah, Orange County is like the Oklahoma City.
Not
of the
Real
West
Big Fish
Coast.
though.
Yeah.
Shout out Real Big Fish. I love you. But aren't the Aquabats from there? That
confused on
dude's
our
that dude's
listenership.
like Mormon. The Aquabats guy is like Mormon. I think they're from Orange County too.
Yeah.
So for all the parents out there, the Yo Gabba Gabba guy, it's the same guy.
Wait, Jacob, did you grow up on Yo Gabba Gabba?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
There we go.
Crazy.
so fucking young.
I remember I called you when you were in Vegas and you had just seen No Doubt, and I was in tears because I was crying about something dumb. I was just remembering that my dad had died. But I was in tears, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "I'm going to see No Doubt." And I'm like, "Who's No Doubt?" And you're like, "Bailee." Bailee.
It was the second time it happened to me that week. My best friend Jess also said, "Oh, I've never heard of them."
Well, you thought it meant that I didn't know who Gwen Stefani was.
No, I just said, "No, you know, no doubt, because you know who Gwen Stefani is."
Oh, okay. And I probably just didn't hear you correctly because I was crying.
Jacob, do you know who No Doubt is?
Yes.
Speaking of Gwen Stefani being a Christian nationalist, today's topic is why do so many abusive actors keep abusing people and then becoming Christian to make it better?
That's a really good question.
So there's a little bit of a cycle that I have put together that fits the theme of three major actors we're going to try to get to today. It starts out with mainstream fame, and people love them, cultural admiration. Then some instability, destructive behavior, addiction type things. Then a serious scandal or abuse allegation or both. Then rebranding through religion or spirituality so that everyone will forgive them. They move away from liberal entertainment because no one will hire them anymore.
Right.
Then everyone forgives them in the Christian or religious world. Then they can sell them crap that is religious, make money again, and then they are adopted by politically conservative audiences, then has a new ecosystem of people that love them and then more people that hate them. That
And
feels sad.
They can keep making money too
Yes.
and not face any real actual consequences while also like performing brokenness and vulnerability
Yes.
to the public.
And crying on weird interviews.
Yes, and making like the liberal mainstream media and punitive justice system like the enemy that's like kicking a guy down while he's already down kind of a thing when it's like, no, you abused people and you're
Cancel
being held
culture,
accountable. Yes, exactly.
There's only 3 of these?
Oh, there's plenty, but
No,
like
there's
we can
many.
only
We
get to
focused
three.
on
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, there's so many names in my head right now.
Okay, so the first one we wanted to focus on, which is one of the main reasons we thought to bring Danny on, is Shia LaBeouf. And Danny has an interesting connection to Shia LaBeouf, if you want to tell us.
Yeah. He made a movie at my house when I was in high school. That's the short of it, like the TLDR. The movie Disturbia, which is like a teen remake of Rear Window, was shot in my high school house.
That is insane. I
So-
loved Disturbia growing up, and I
Okay,
love that house.
You need to explain more for like people who didn't grow up in Southern California.
Yeah,
They
okay.
don't understand
I grew
that
up
people...
in Pasadena.
Yeah.
They make a lot of movies in Southern California. Maybe not so much anymore. I don't know, but they did then. What was it, like 2006, 2005, 2006?
Especially like the East Valley, like San Gabriel Valley too. I've noticed a lot of filming is
Yeah.
there.
I know. Okay, so I mean, I can get in like the real nitty gritty of it, but the short of it is like Pasadena allows you to film. Each production can film up to 6 days per quarter in a single location on location. So as the quarters would turn over, you would see all these productions pop up because they could get like 6 on the front end, 6 on the back end, all at the same time. But anyways, they shot this movie in my house. My house was the killer's house. Spoilers. Sorry, the movie's like 20 years old.
How did your house get featured in all these? Like, was there like a lottery system that you could apply your house for?
No, I know there's some houses that have agents, which sounds like a dumb job. But
Sounds like a douchey job.
my house, so before I moved into my house, it had been in Catch Me If You Can, and it had been in this Scarlett Johansson movie called In Good Company.
Wow.
And then a bunch of commercials. So when we first moved in, it was like on the list, I guess like, you know, whoever the cast, whatever a casting director is for a house, they have a list of things they like. So we would occasionally get phone calls, but more often than not, it was like someone would knock on your door, like a door-to-door salesman. Or in the case of Disturbia, my parents were out of town for a weekend, and I like went to get the mail, and there was like a flyer stuffed in our front door knob that said, we want to make a modern day remake of Rear Window, and we want to make it at your house. So
Did you say yes without your parents' approval?
no. I
Did
called.
they know that Shia LaBeouf was in your house?
No, my dad was actually stoked on it because he thought Shia LaBeouf was one of the good ones. My dad's a horrible judge of character. Everybody knows this.
To his credit, we all thought that Shia LaBeouf was one of the good ones.
He very quickly, after filming that movie, became not one of the good ones.
Yeah.
I think it was like maybe before it even came out. But anyways, I called my parents and I was like, hey, this showed up. I don't know if it's real, but like it'd be a weird prank. So they called the number, and then they were like, yeah, sure, we totally want to do it. It was really involved. Like, to make a movie in someone's house, they have to make it look exactly how they want. And in the case of this movie, it has to look like the backyard of Shia LaBeouf's house in the movie and the backyard of the killer's house.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot the front of our house. So the Shia LaBeouf house was like somewhere further east in LA. It was not my neighbor behind me. What they had to do is they built the rear facade of the entire house. None of it was real except the kitchen looked real and his bedroom looked real. And you could like go up to it. Also, our yard had a pool in it, and like none of those yards had a pool in them.
And there's a pool in the movie.
So they dropped a bunch of scaffolding in our pool and then covered it in grass.
Who has a pool? Doesn't his neighbor girl like jump in a swimming pool at some point?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really seen it since it came out. But anyways, they built that for like 30 days. So there was like construction crews in our house for 30 days. At one point, they like brought him and the Asian guy, I forget his name, but like his best friend in the movie. And they were just like, oh yeah, they want to check out the spot, blah, blah, blah. And I was there because I lived there. And there was like an ask from the production crew and Shia LaBeouf himself for some reason to like go up and check out my bedroom. Like they were like, we need to build a teen's bedroom. And I was like, okay. But in my mind, I was like, my teen bedroom is based off of like all the teen bedrooms that I saw in movies. You know, like there's like normal people don't have like overlapping posters and shit all over their walls. Right. I did because that's like what happens in teen movies, you know? So they went up to my room and they're like, yep, okay, cool. And then they're like, we got it. And then there's like, we're going to model his bedroom after your bedroom. And I was like, okay, I guess that works. You know, it was like Green Day posters or whatever I had in high school, you know? So that was cool. I mean, that was like the first time I got to meet him. He was very chill. I was a big Even Stevens fan, still am. Too. Like, I haven't watched it in a long time, but you know, I do love it.
It still holds up. I actually watched it recently.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear. Not a big Holes fan. I think that movie is fine.
I loved Holes.
But anyways, we hung out. We talked about comic books and we talked about video games and like, I don't know. I don't think he was that much older than me. So it wasn't like, oh, here's this like old guy. Yeah. And then they finished building everything, and the shoots were all night shoots, and they knew that I was into film at the time. I mean, I'm still into film, but like at the time, I was like, I'm going to go to film school. I'm going to be a filmmaker. And like that was a pretty short-lived idea, but I was pretty into it at the time. So they were like, you can come hang out at night during the shoots. You know, like obviously I had to go to school during the day, so I couldn't stay like all night, but they let me come hang out at night. The AD was like a really nice guy. I forget his name. I'm sorry. But the director sucked. His name was DJ Caruso. He's a dick.
Another one of our parishioners, I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyways.
If you're the
he didn't like me. He didn't like me. Everyone else didn't have a problem with me or was friendly with me. So I don't know. Look inward, dude. But
don't have beef with children.
I would go there at night and hang out and like watch them shoot. I got to meet some of the other cast members. The guy who was the killer, I forget his name, but he was in The Rock. I like The Rock. The Rock's a good movie. He's just like a nondescript kind of like action guy. And then Carrie-Anne Moss, who's Trinity from The Matrix, was Shia's mom, and that was maybe what I was most excited about. Was
really?
That Trinity from The Matrix was at my house. Yeah, The Matrix rips. The Matrix is so good. Even 2 and 3, not 4. But yeah, so that's kind of like the short of how it all happened. And we kind of hung out for a little bit that week when they came out for the like look-see or whatever of the house. And then we hung out that whole week that they were shooting in between shots. And then like when they would break for dinner, we would all have dinner together. And then he invited me out to the Paramount lot to check out the interiors, which was wild because they had built the inside of my house inside of a soundstage.
That's so
I thought they
meta.
filmed in your house.
They do film some stuff in the house.
Okay.
There's a caveat with filming in the house that like, or filming anybody's house that the law in Pasadena is that you have to return the property exactly how it was. So if they're running like big rigs through there and they scratch your wood floors, they would have to like tear up your wood floors and put new ones in. They also painted the back of our house blue. Our house was white with green trim. And then at the end of it, they had to paint the whole house back, you know, like 100% professional. So I think that's probably why they built it, you know, that way. Also, they can remove walls and not have to worry about a weird old California house. So, yeah, that was kind of it. That's our history. We ran into each other years later, and he still remembered me. So there was that. But I don't know if he.
Where did you run into him again?
At an Edward Sharpe show. Yeah, I was there before the show started for some reason. Some friends of mine were friends with like the opener or something. But
when was this?
He was there. It was after high school, so it would have been at least 2 or 3 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Did he remember you?
He did. Yeah, he remembered
wild.
me. Yeah, I think he was friends with the opening band because the guy who was the singer in the opening band was in the movie Brick. Also a great movie. If you've never seen it, go see it. Yeah, there's that. I don't know. I ran into him there. I also went to the Transformers premiere. I didn't see him there though. So,
wow.
But I got to meet Michael Bay. That was cool.
That's unfortunate.
And Dane Cook, unfortunately. So.
Wow, Danny, you really have been around. You are a Hollywood star.
I'm a guy who lived in LA as a child. Yeah.
I lived in LA for a second too. I did not have that proximity though.
Only to famous dogs.
Yeah, only to famous dogs and their owners. I guess, but I was like working, so I was lower than dirt. But,
So, Shia LaBeouf, classic story that fits this narrative. Beloved Even Stevens, child actor, success with Disturbia and Transformers, seen as quirky, artistic, and talented. And then some long public relationships that he really cultivated as this tortured artist type image. And in 2012, he began dating Mia Goth and then was on and off again with her through 2025.
They got married. They weren't just dating.
They have a baby together too.
On again, off again.
Yeah.
Also,
in between there,
she's so cool. I just want to say
she's very cool. I have a lot of good things to say about Mia Goth.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then somehow in between there, he found time to batter and abuse FKA Twigs in that timeline as well. So it's a little confusing. So
him and Mia Goth after their first separation, he dated some other people. FKA Twigs is one of them, and then I think also Margot Qualley or Margaret Qualley?
Oh,
they dated for a little bit too, and they ended up him and Mia Goth ended up getting back together again because I think that they had a kid together.
Yikes! And how did the abuse allegations go down? Do you know?
I actually don't know off the top of my head.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know that.
I know
it was more than. I think it was more than just battering. I think there was a rape allegation in there.
Yeah,
and
she
has
alleging sexual battery and abuse.
Yeah. She also said that she is surprised she survived that relationship. Yep. So she came forward
Twigs
about
or?
it. Twigs.
Yeah.
Yep. There was also Mia Goth has not been as forward about her relationship with Shia LaBeouf. That there was a report where some people overheard them in Germany fighting, and the fighting got so intense, and he got away, and he's like, "If you let me anywhere near that woman, I will kill her." Yeah, it's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah. So what do you do when the industry doesn't want to book you anymore? You become Catholic.
Apparently, yes.
So in 2022, after all of this, the allegations were in 2020 against FKA Twigs. And 2022, 2023, he became very Catholic and tied his work to a lot of interviews emphasizing repentance and spirituality, and was very welcomed by the Catholic media. And now people kind of see him as this broken man finding redemption. And he isn't quite as political as the other examples we have today, but there's a recent interview where he's very homophobic.
Yeah, I actually have a lot to say about that interview. Yeah. So I've ever since he was a little kid really loved Shia LaBeouf. So when the abuse allegations came out, I was very disturbed by them. And the thing about Shia LaBeouf is that he has had court ordered sobriety, or he's had to go through some type of program. I don't know if it's AA or something like that. And so it is very obvious that he has learned a lot of the language of AA, which intersects heavily with religion. Yeah. And so and he even says too, he found religion because sobriety after alcoholism feels like such intense restriction, and restriction leads to mysticism, is I think how he worded it. Because you're just deprived of a lot of earthly pleasures. So it makes sense that you would kind of gravitate towards God. But he definitely, you can tell that he's had a close relationship with a spiritual figure because of the language he's adopted. And he also adopts a lot of the language of restorative justice, which is, you know, I'm very pro restorative justice, which is basically like an approach to justice and the correction system that is not punitive and is more reconciliation oriented, because statistically there's more data that proves that that's actually more effective. The problem is that he performs a lot of accountability and then also undermines a lot of the victims who he has hurt. So his Channel 5 interview that I was listening to, he's talking about how
that's the one where he's like, oh, I'd kiss his feet, like about Jesus.
Yes.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Is that the all gas, no brakes guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But that's where he talks. This is something I really noticed in that interview, because he is so like, he takes so much accountability in that interview, which is very confusing because that's technically what we ask a lot of people who have done what he's done. So he's kind of giving this false impression like he is paying the dues that society is asking him to pay, and that to continue to like crack down harder on him would be like kicking a dog that's already down, kind of a thing.
But isn't that also like right hand in hand with when he went up to New Orleans and did all that crazy shit?
So that's what I was going to say next, is that like he ends up having this like major meltdown on Bourbon Street on Fat Tuesday, and he ends up getting incarcerated because he is like freaking out and stuff. But one of the things that he is accused of is like a hate crime, because he beats up a queer person and hurls homophobic slurs at them. So when he's talking about this during the interview, you can tell like he'll be like, he says something like, everything I did was wrong. Like, I'm taking full accountability. There are no excuses. And my charges, they're pretty severe. Like, I know the DA, he's kind of a liberal guy, and so he's trying to put like a hate crime on me, which, I'll do whatever I gotta do. I'll like pay the dues. And within that, it's just like he's clearly trying to frame it that like he's willing to do whatever the liberal hate mob is trying to like make him do, versus like that DA is intervening because when white men of power crash out, they're always hurting marginalized people. And he's acting like that's like an opportunist move to like add a hate crime charge to his already, like, I think it was like public intoxication or something.
So he did this interview in response to what happened in Bourbon Street.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. I feel like in the interview, I didn't watch the whole thing, but he's performing so much.
Yes.
It's very clearly, if you've ever been in a relationship with a horrifying narcissist, you would see the same pattern.
Yes, or if you've ever been to AA.
Yeah, the same pattern is, I'm such a bad person. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm just dirt. I'm disgusting. Like, just continuing to hate themselves because that's the real thing that's fueling their rage, is their self-hate.
Yes.
And so when they get caught red-handed, they can do nothing else but like shame themselves.
Right.
But it's not real. It's not authentic.
Right. Well, and they also know that like nobody likes it when somebody gets caught and they deny what they did. So he's like using that like distaste that people have for people like that to be like, well, I'm not like that. I'm going to own up to everything I did. Like, I fucked up. I was a terrible husband, blah, blah, blah. I will pay the penitence and the atonement for whatever I have to do. And so I think that disarms people about him. But then they don't actually pursue the real justice because, he has all these terrible charges against him, but he is still able to make an interview appearance. Couldn't be that bad. He's not incarcerated.
Right.
If he was a black man who was poor, do you think he would be walking right now?
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not. Because the justice system is one that he benefits from and he is not actually oppressed by. And that's the difference, is that the only thing that's hurt is his reputation. That's what he's trying to cover.
Yeah. Do you think it will work? Do you think there's hope for Shia LaBeouf?
I don't think he's in anything of any consequence anymore, except Megalopolis. And I just think that's because Francis Ford Coppola doesn't know anything that's happening. He also cast John Voight in that movie, a similar piece of shit.
I have an opinion on this, on whether or not I think that he can find redemption. I think, and I hate to say this, but I think that it kind of depends on how fatherhood changes him. And the reason why I think that is because, like, okay, so I admittedly gravitate towards a lot of men like Shia LaBeouf, and they tend to gravitate towards me because we just like love vulnerability and love like I feel like I've been attracted to a lot of addicts before, people who've already done AA, because like I'm familiar with that language. And like my dad used to abuse substances and then he found Jesus. And so like I'm attracted to that because it feels like such like surrender. And people who seem as though they have surrendered feel safe to me because it's like, well, they've gotten all that shit out of their system. Now they're ready to like do the right thing. And they've seen a lot, and that like typically like contributes to wisdom. I've always gravitated towards people like that. But something I have personally noticed when I have gotten caught up with a man like that is that things are good until they're not. And then you will be the first person that they will cut down. So like I have this story actually where I got involved with somebody in like a spiritual environment, and he was kind of like Shia LaBeouf, just like really funny, reckless, crazy, just like you just never knew what he was going to say, had a history of like drug abuse. And him and I were really drawn to each other. And then he kind of like, he was very spiritual. I felt like I learned a lot from him spiritually. We just had like long conversations like that. And then like he crashed out and then like slid into my DMs sexually harassing me. And that was like really shocking to me because I was just like, he would have been the first person to say that's wrong when him and I were friends. So when seeing that, I was just like, what the fuck just happened here? But I feel like that is oftentimes how men like Shia LaBeouf treat the women in their lives or other vulnerable people until they have a daughter themselves and they're like, fuck, like everything that I've done is a lot harder to forgive now that I know that my daughter could be treated that way. And he has a daughter. And so that being said, it might not change him, but he might have a confrontation with like the reality of like abuse. And that would possibly be something that could change him in an authentic way. And I genuinely hope it does. I hate that it has to wait till someone has a daughter for like something like that to happen.
For women to be people.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I love reconciliation. I want to know that there is a way for everyone to truly like make things right or like do reparations or whatever. But I'm just so mistrusting of people like this right now because I feel like I've experienced it being performative so many times. That being said, like I want to believe in a world where like people can be restored and redeemed. That to me is like what still attracts me to Christianity is that like it's like very anti-Pharisee and anti-judgment and all that stuff. But I feel like a lot of people like Shia LaBeouf take advantage of that so that they can like cover themselves in the forgiveness of others so they can keep abusing in privacy.
What if he just doesn't do anything bad anymore and there's an Even Stevens revival? I think that's his best path back to being.
Hope. I mean, I still watch Even Stevens because I think it's so funny. I saw this episode recently with Beans. Do you remember Beans?
Oh, of course.
Beans rules.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And you can tell that he's so like gifted because his timing is so good. Like he's a very.
Have you seen Beans lately though?
No, not.
He looks
not
just
Beans.
like the same, but just older. Like he didn't grow or anything. He just like aged. You know.
I believe that because Beans kind of did look timeless in a weird way. It was hard to figure out how old he was, except for he had a squeaky young voice.
Okay, so who else comes to mind when you think of this arc? Danny?
Am I supposed to say Kanye West?
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh, look at that.
I just disclaimer, I don't wear Kanye. I have a ton of it. I have a ton of Kanye stuff. I have like 10 pairs of Yeezys and I haven't worn any of them since he really went off the deep end.
Congratulations.
I just don't wear his stuff anymore, but I dug this out of the archives for today.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so Kanye, quick overview. At one point, he was a critically acclaimed rapper, producer, fashion figure. Fashion figure, visionary, culturally influential, genius, which maybe made his ego too big. Married Kim K in 2014, had 4 kids with her. Then in 2016, started to have some erratic political statements, some public breakdowns, some manic episodes, online controversies, hospitalization, mental health crisis, into his Sunday service era, Jesus is King, which I do think is more genuine than some of these other performative religious conversions.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, interesting. Because I would, and this is just like, I have no reason to like not believe you. I actually think Shia feels more authentic if you were going to say any of them were. Not to say that I like agree with anything.
I think there's like a long history of I know a lot about Kanye. It's like a long history of Kanye being very overtly religious throughout his career from the start.
Okay.
So maybe he like kind of dove in deeper, but it's always been there. Whereas like, I mean, someone like Shia LaBeouf, you just see what they put on the script, right? So, or what he does on like the Disney Channel interview. So you don't really know. They're not going to like let the Disney Channel kids talk about religion on the like 30-second promo, but
unless they're wearing your purity ring, like they did in Miley's era.
Is that the Jonas Brothers stuff?
Yeah.
I'm too old for that stuff. But yeah, Kanye was like always like Jesus Walks being like one of his biggest hits off of Late Registration.
Yeah.
Was that the record that it was on? I don't know.
And that would make more sense, like, because like I get that if you are going through something, falling back on religion is like definitely a knee-jerk reaction for someone who has that foundation already. That's honestly what would probably happen to me if something bad happened in my life. I'd probably get like weirdly religious again, and then I'd have to turn this podcast into like something, a reparations.
I feel like a lot of bad stuff happened to him, but I will say, I used to vouch for, like, because he used to say some insane shit. Like, he would have the hottest takes of all time, and they just got hotter as he got, like, more mentally unwell. You know, not saying that I agree with them. The temperature of the takes rose drastically. Him really going off the deep end definitely was hand in hand with his music starting to not be good. Yeah. And I was like, he would say the most unhinged shit, and I would vouch for him because he was still churning out, like, a Yeezus, or even like a Life of Pablo, or even like a Kids See Ghosts, like the record he did with Cudi. But like that other one, Wyoming or whatever, the one with the mountain, and he's like, I'm bipolar, blah, blah, he like scribbled on it. That to me, like he released that hand in hand with Kids See Ghosts, and I think like the solo one that he didn't have Kid Cudi on suffered. It wasn't as good. It wasn't as interesting. And everyone was like, this kind of isn't great anymore. He used to reinvent himself with every single record. Yeah. And starting with Life of Pablo, Life of Pablo was kind of just an extension of Yeezus. And then it kind of went downhill from there. And the Jesus is King record is so bad. And this is from a guy who like pre-ordered a copy of it. It is sitting in my record collection at home right now. I have listened to it once, and I probably never will again. But, you know, like as the music got bad and the fashion got repetitive, he got more and more erratic. And that just feels like part of the formula, I guess, to me, you know?
I would say with him too, I don't know a lot about him, but when he was just being erratic, he never rubbed me the wrong way. Like people, like you don't have to have a great personality to be like fine. It was that it felt like he was shifting towards like bold statements to punching down. And that to me was that shift that like really made the difference. It's like, if this is truly just somebody crashing out because they're experiencing mental illness or something is like coming up in their life, why is it that they're always like spewing like racial slurs or homophobic slurs or like being like abusive to their family or their wife or their kids? Like, why is it why are they never freaking out at their boss? Or somebody who has power above them. Like, they're not punching up anymore. I would honestly respect him more if he just, like, I don't know, started taking off his clothes during a board meeting and, like, acting crazy because he would be ruining his reputation with people of prominence and power. But instead, he's just punching down to already vulnerable people. And that, to me, is when I'm like, I'm not buying it anymore.
I think part of it is a self-defense mechanism. It's like this open secret in like, the New York fashion circles that Kanye is gay. Shout out to the editors at Women's Wear Daily that told me that during the Met Gala one night.
Yeah, shout out.
He had like a long running thing with Riccardo Tisci, and that's like this open secret in New York. Yeah, so if nobody's heard that, now they have. I don't think I have like hot secrets that nobody knows, but you know, it's like him dealing with all like the homophobia and all that kind of stuff, like it probably stems from his own level of it, which is why he's only ever with like these like cartoonishly hot women, you know, like Jessica Rabbit body shapes, you know,
like the caricature of hot women.
You know,
and
it's
like very, very controlling over them as well. Like, I think being a Kardashian stan, like watching their show for so many years and seeing like the fall of Kim's confidence was really shocking. Like, one of the most confident people I'd ever seen on TV was like very clearly being crushed.
Right.
And it was really hard to watch it.
She was like easy to make fun of too, because she's like pretty materialistic. And so I feel like whenever he would try to get people to hate her, he would contrast his like real authentic nature and how like, oh, like, you know, he's trying to make his daughter be like someone who's not spoiled or like pretentious or whatever.
That didn't work.
No.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is that like I feel like sometimes they target people that are easy to hate for more superficial reasons, when it's like a lot can be said about the Kardashians, but like he genuinely did abuse them, like and like terrorize them. But Kim is easy to hate by a lot of people who like to consider themselves real and authentic because she's, you know, a billionaire and she's deeply problematic in that way. That's not excusable, but it still is like she's an easy target for that reason. Whereas like when we talk about Shia LaBeouf, I don't think Mia Goth is, because she's more beloved and more like, I don't really have a lot of bad things to say about her.
Both of them are not great, but they also like helped each other rise to the level that they are at or were at, right? Like they don't hit the peaks that they've hit without each other. I think that Kanye gave credibility to her and to that whole family at a time when he was like the hottest artist on the planet. And he was like, yeah, I'll be on your show occasionally. And it went from this, like, this is a reality TV show family to like, they're like on the next level and they can continue to do things. And they've like steered that wave to their own benefit since all of his shit. But,
and that's when she started getting into like criminal justice reform too. So I think that it added like a level of authenticity.
You think she's ever going to pass the bar?
She has passed the bar, and she has also helped save people from death row.
I don't think she has. I don't think she's passed the bar yet. She's passed the whatever the PSAT version of the bar is.
I'm not sure.
She like came out and said,
baby bar.
Yeah, baby bar. Yeah, she came out and said, I'm not going to do it again this year or something like that, like last week.
Well, regardless, she has used her power to help, like, I think Julius Jones, she like help profile that. And he is, sentenced was, I don't know if he was granted clemency or not, but he was delayed. Like, he's alive today because of her. Not saying that that's legit, but, or that absolves her of everything.
She's super smart. She knew she could like walk into Trump's office, be a celebrity, and kind of get whatever she wanted from him, and then
she chose
leave.
Like, to use it for good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I think even though Kanye was off the deep end, I never expected him to like show up with the MAGA hat on.
I know.
Like I really didn't see it coming.
Well, he talked for so many years about running for president.
Yeah.
Like even before he did run for president, but even
Yeah.
before he did it, he talked for so many years about it. And there was probably a year or two where you would have caught me and I would have been like, yeah, sure, I'll put my name next to that box, right? But by the time he like did it, yeah, he was like super off the deep end.
Yeah. It feels too like a lot of, I think his apologists would say that he is trying to do like social experiments on people because he's looking for he likes to irritate people and get a reaction out of them. And he knows that like a lot of his followers would have been anti-MAGA at that time. So like a lot of times I think that he maybe was leaning on things he knew would be like reactionary.
You can only do that if the art is still good. Like Andy Warhol was able to do that his whole career and be a total piece of shit because the art was always good. When the art starts to suffer or the art becomes a swastika on a white t-shirt, then you can't be like a troll or just a contrary voice, you know?
Yeah.
Like no one's going to respect it.
Yeah.
I will also say this too, and this is maybe a hot take. I think that there are a lot of people out there who are at the intersections of some type of like vulnerability, like race, like gender, they grew up poor, whatever it is. And then they get so rich that they get dumb.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think that they think that they are still punching up when they're actually punching down. So I think that when he, you know, wears a MAGA hat or is wearing a swastika or whatever it is that he's doing, he thinks like, oh, like the liberal media is going to hate this and those guys are running the country and like, I don't care. I'm not PC. I'll say whatever I want, even to the detriment of my own reputation. But I think that he thinks he's like irritating the aristocracy when he does that because he thinks that the liberal media is like pulling the puppet strings of everything. But the thing he doesn't realize that by wearing a swastika or wearing a MAGA hat, he is actually punching down because there are people whose lives are worse off and who are even like entirely being lost because of the MAGA movement. It is a deeply oppressive, predatory movement, and he thinks he's just being reactionary because he's so fucking rich, he's dumb, that he's lost the plot of what actual systemic oppression is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just basically become another MAGA wife.
Yes.
I mean, for him, it all started with hating Jewish people.
Yeah.
He started by hating his own people first when he said like slavery was a choice. But then he hated Jewish people. And then as an extension of that leads into the MAGA mindset because they don't really like Jewish people either. They don't like anybody that's not white and Christian, right? So they don't like him even, right? Except when he's saying things they want him to say. But this is all a long way to shout out the video where he talks about his doctor, and he's got the most amazing comedic timing, and he goes, a Jewish doctor. So if you've never seen it, finish watching this episode, look up that video. He says some messed up stuff, but the comedic timing could not be better.
But I do think that is kind of contributing to the, like, he's playing off of the idea that Jewish liberal elitists are running the country, but are like...
Is that why he is like anti-Semitic?
I think in a way where I think that that's where a lot of anti-Semitism is written, is that they're like rich and stingy. And so he thinks he's like punching up because maybe there's a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood, and he is like, he thinks that they're like controlling the narrative on everything. And so, and then there's also just how like awful Israel is in the Middle East right now. So there's this conflation of the two. So I think that he thinks he's doing something really brave and edgy and cool and Robin Hood like to like be anti-Semitic, when it's like, no, those are still the people who survived the Holocaust, and many who didn't as well.
I mean, there is this like perception that like the Jewish folks control Hollywood and the media and the record labels, and it's like not uncommon for artists who get really big, especially now, to be like, I'm going to rage against my record label and I want control over my own stuff. You don't get to own it anymore. And I think maybe if you combine the idea that you don't want to like be an employee of a record label anymore and you want to do your own thing with the mental illness that he has, it manifests as a Jewish doctor, you know, like, so I think that's maybe where some of that comes from. And obviously he's just like so off the deep end. It's insane. Yeah. He did have a comeback run though. The Bully record, the sold out shows, he sold out 2 shows in LA. He's going to play in Israel. That's his like apology to the Jewish people. He's playing in Tel Aviv.
That's what I'm saying. That conflation is so fucking dumb.
It's insane.
It's fucking dumb.
Okay, so I think that Kanye doesn't totally fit the narrative, like the cycle, but he's still in it.
He benefits from it.
He benefits from it, and he hasn't quite gotten to the like apology tour part yet. I guess he's trying.
I don't think
he did the full page apology in the newspaper.
When was that?
Right before his record came out. So everyone was like, "Oh, new record's coming," because he just apologized.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see where he comes. Yeah. But our last example perfectly fits the narrative, and it is Russell Brand.
Ugh, deeply unlikable.
He's so gross.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall is a banger.
Yeah, but
he is gross in it.
So gross.
Yeah.
He is also like, he to me is the best example of this because of how it's just not believable at all.
100%.
Whereas like this is to be like, this is not to like lessen what the other 2 men that we've talked about have done. They are gifted and they are talented. Yes. And I will be honest, there was a really long time where Shia LaBeouf fooled me because I love a broken reconciliation story. Yeah. And I also think he's hot. I'm just going to say it. Yeah. Like, that's a big part of it too. But Russell Brand is someone who I was like, you are fucking goofy.
And for someone who has seen the Katy Perry documentary probably 35 times, because I had to watch it when I was an English teacher so many times, it broke my heart. Yeah. Like, it made me hate him so much. And if you've never seen that, it's great, even though Katy Perry's also on a bad journey right now. Yeah. She wasn't at the time of that documentary, and it was good.
Even though she's a piece of shit, she was still a victim in that situation.
She did sexually assault that guy on American Idol.
And she shouldn't have done that. She was a victim in this situation, though, and like victims don't have to be perfect to get like our awareness of their victimhood.
But Russell Brand kind of fits it because he was, somewhat of a mainstream appealing actor, even though he's gross to me. People liked him.
Yeah, he was in that movie with Diddy. It all kind of fits, right?
Jesus, that's right.
And then he kind of had some like increasing conspiracy type tones and addiction history that he talked about, and was a little bit more like anti-establishment. Married Katy Perry, like basically stranded her.
Wait, they got married? I thought they just dated.
Oh,
No,
no,
they were
they got
married.
married, and then he just like broke up with her over text. It's in the Katy
She was
Perry
about to go
documentary.
on stage.
Oh, okay.
too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's
she's crying in her makeup chair, crying because he basically said, "I don't want to be married to you anymore" on a text, and she's crying, getting her makeup done, and they're trying to blot her tears, and then she walks to the stage and puts her microphone up and goes and smiles. It is chilling. It is bone chilling
That's wow.
to watch the acting. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're not talking about her. Then the cycle's interrupted when he marries an author and illustrator, Laura Gaulisher, in 2017. They have children together. Increasingly, like, framed himself as this great husband and father. But then he has multiple sexual assault allegations and rape allegations. Like, I went to court for it, or no, or is still awaiting
don't know.
trial.
I am not sure actually.
So sorry,
Yeah.
don't know.
I only know about his apology tour and his baptism.
But from many different women, ranging over 20 years. So there's some truth in there for sure.
Yeah.
And then from that, he couldn't really recover. So instead, he becomes super Christian and then starts to sell a bunch of Christian shit.
Yep.
Like, very like,
like Uncle Baby Billy.
kind of.
Like Uncle
kind
Baby
of,
Billy, yes.
But like more wellness focused, or like a little bit more like Eastern.
Yeah, but it's like a balm that's like restored. But like a
Yeah.
lot of the language he uses like soul cleansing.
It's like the stuff my chiropractor
like,
would
yeah.
sell, but like mixed with a dirty, dirty man.
Yeah.
Who's pretending to be religious.
Like a deadhead. Like if your chiropractor was a deadhead.
Yes.
Okay.
But also Russell Brand.
Yes.
Yeah. He looks like a deadhead.
Which is okay. This is another thing too. I feel like they will often throw in like addiction and substance
Yes.
abuse.
I'm just an
Yeah.
addict.
Yes, under the guise. And to me, I'm just like, I think that addiction is something that is so forgivable. And like, I have a lot of, and like, addiction also is not pretty. And it is like people who suffer from addiction really hurt people close to them. And also, that is not the same as like abusing someone.
Right.
Like, that
Hurting
is a very
yourself.
different thing. But a
Yeah.
lot of times, like, they have framed it where, like, if you are unwilling to forgive them for abuse, it's like you're a Pharisee. Like, we all fall short of the glory
Right.
of God.
Yeah.
We've all suffered from addiction and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. Like, I have actually a lot of room for forgiving addiction, theft. Like, if you were just stealing from corporations or whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like, the problem is that you're always destroying a hotel that, like, workers have to clean up. You're always, like, abusing your children or like your wife or somebody vulnerable. You're always throwing slurs out when you're getting mad at people. Like, why are you never punching up? It's because you're predatory. And that's very different than being a broken person suffering from addiction. But don't mind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's real.
Yeah.
He's also not very funny.
He's also not
No.
hot, which is
No.
maybe the most important part of
I
this
saw him do a
call.
pop in at the UCB theater in LA once, and he did like 30 or 45 minutes when you're supposed to do like 10 or 15 for those, and none of it was very funny. Janine Garofalo did a pop in the same show. She just read from the newspaper, and it was like way better.
We have some honorable mentions. Mel Gibson.
Ugh.
Chris Pratt. Justin Bieber.
Oh wait, Chris Pratt didn't do anything wrong. He just sucks.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
why he's an honorable mention. Justin Bieber. And this one does fit pretty well. Mark Wahlberg, but I didn't want to talk about him.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I fucking hate Mark
I
Wahlberg.
know.
I hate him so much. Remember when he beat the shit out of that Asian man with a plank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now he's super Catholic.
I think he always
was always
'cause
Catholic, but he's definitely
from,
leaned into it
He's
more.
from Boston, right?
Oh, and Armie Hammer tried to do this.
Yes.
And it didn't work because
with
no
the
one bought it.
cannibalism.
He did the
He tried to like have the spiritual rehabilitation
He had like a
storyline.
podcast with his evangelical mom on. It's actually a pretty good
He's
episode,
not
I have to
in
say.
good enough. He's not good enough in shit for it to matter.
I know.
He
Like,
is-
were you a Winklevi? I don't care.
I also think that he isn't broken enough because of the aristocracy that he comes from. So it's harder to sell the like, I was abused by my family growing up and I
Yeah.
grew up in a trailer house and I just like came to Hollywood and now that I have money, I'm like processing everything. Like it's just not believable because he's a hammer. And his I think it's his father has a building on Oral Roberts University campus named after them, the Hammer Center.
Oh, I didn't know they were that Christian.
I'll walk back
yeah.
that he's not in anything good just a little bit, so I can say that he's in Call Me by Your Name, and that movie's amazing.
It is fucking amazing.
But it's all about Chalamet. He can fuck off.
I think it's about Chalamet's dad. That is who I think is the most like whoever plays his dad in that movie. I can't remember. That his character is so remarkable.
Michael Stuhlbarg.
He knows.
Stuhlbarg.
All right. Why do you think that they pick Christianity instead of other religions?
Because they're white. Well, not Kanye, but like the rest of them, right?
So here's my take on this.
Yeah.
I think that they choose Christianity, and I'm gonna actually like before I get into like the power structure of Christianity, I want to talk about like Christianity as in like the religion of Jesus Christ. Is that I think that like Christianity is good news for people who have nowhere to turn. I think that that is why a lot of restorative justice is appealing towards people who are in these situations where it's like society is not going to take me back. I have nowhere else to go. And that's why a lot of people find God in prison. And that's like a legit thing. I used to like work in LA, or I used to volunteer in LA County jails through this ministry that was like racial or restorative justice. And it is amazing to see like the authentic transformation that happens and like the hope that it provides people, because like forgiveness is for everyone. That being said, I think that when Christianity which it inevitably has intersected with a power system, that very thing that used to liberate people now becomes the means to exploit and harm other people, which sucks because it is so sacred. And it is like, I cannot overstate how much I believe in reconciliation and for the ability for anyone to like find a place. Statistically also, reconciliation works better than a punitive system. Like there's like stats that say that like people who are offenders of violent crimes, if they can re-enter society instead of being isolated after incarceration, they're like 80% less likely to re-offend. So it's also like effective. It's not even just like mercy is nice, it's mercy is effective. So like I think that that is why maybe they even authentically turn to Christianity. And then I think that there's opportunists waiting for them who are predatory that are like, hey, we can use this to sell like conservative propaganda. And then they grab them while they're vulnerable. But that's, my opinion.
I'll expand on my white comment from earlier because that was just a wild thing to say with no context. I think because they are selling tickets to a predominantly white, predominantly Christian country.
Totally.
And these people are all about their bottom line. You're talking about a lot of actors, especially that probably have back end deals. So the more tickets they sell, the more money they make. The way the country looks on paper right now, it looks like it's veering towards that like white Christianity, Christian nationalist. Like they're the people who are in power. So like, let's pander to those people. Like you really gotta like, when the pendulum swings the other way, where are those people gonna be? Are they gonna like swing with it? You know, like, is Chris Pratt gonna stop like golfing with Justin Bieber and their pastor? I don't know. He's the one married to the Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She sucks too.
And he was married to that cute
Anna Faris.
Yeah.
Who would have thought she'd be the cool one?
Here we are.
Because she's like kind of obnoxious in the Scary Movie movies, and you don't realize it when you watch them when you're in like 6th grade because you're like, oh my God, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But like those movies are obnoxious.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Today, Danny, thank you for joining us on Praise Be to Pod.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Our first male guest. Well, aside from our Patreon episode with Jacob.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jacob.
First mainstream guest. All right. Well, blessed are the listeners, for they shall inherit a fundamentalist PR strategy to save their millions. You can find us at praisebeatopod.com on the web and Praise Be to Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and Patreon. It is finished.
It is finished.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.